What's up, YouTube? This is Red Zone 101. Just got back from the range from shooting my brand new Beretta CX4 Storm 9mm carbine. And let me tell you, so far, this is a keeper. Just did a few upgrades to it, wanted to show you. Normally, I always customize. First of all, I hope everyone is doing well out there. Want to say God bless. Want to thank you guys for tuning in. And I hope you had a very happy and safe Thanksgiving. Wanted to show you some of the upgrades that I did to my Beretta Storm here and the CX4 Storm. Normally, I customize my guns for my needs. You know, I do little things to them that other people may not, but I do things so it's a better shooting experience for me, and it's going to work for the situations that I plan on using this for. So I wanted to show you a couple of the upgrades. Now, the trigger, I haven't done anything to that because the trigger for me is just fine. You know, for self-defense or plinking, it's a good trigger. You know, it's not a target trigger, but at the same time, it's pretty accurate, and the trigger has, not sure, maybe about a 6 pound pull or somewhere in that ballpark. Don't quote me, but it's not a bad trigger. So I didn't do anything to the trigger. The one thing I did do, as you've known from my previous videos with this, I had to change the bolt assembly because when I first got it, the bolt assembly, the ejector would not eject rounds. So I called up Beretta, and Beretta customer service is great. I told them what the issue was, told them if they could send me a new bolt assembly, that would probably fix the problem. They sent me a new bolt assembly. I think it took less than a week. I mean, great guys. I put it in myself, and I've put over 100 rounds to it, maybe 200 rounds to it. Not a whole lot. You know, there's an ammo shortage or whatever, but anyway. But at the same time, not one single hiccup since I put the new bolt assembly in. Ejections, no failures whatsoever. This has been a great little gun. I think this is turning out to be probably one of my new favorites here. So let me show you what some of the upgrades for that I did. One of the things I did was back here, I put a like a recoil pad on here. Now I know that Beretta has spacers you can put in here and that can extend it like or what have you. Mine didn't come with spacers. I didn't feel like, you know, spending the extra, I don't know how much they cost, but you know, Beretta's not a cheap gun. Sometimes the parts can be a little pricey. So what I did is I went to my local Dunham's. I found this for about $6. And I cut it down a little bit because otherwise this part was extending like out here. Cut it down a bit, wrapped it with some electrical tape. I love electrical tape. I do all kinds of things. Give me some electrical tape and duct tape and I can build a house. I'm just saying that I'll make it work. So anyway, I wrapped it to make it a little more secure. Cut a little hole here for my swing to fit there. My sling, whatever. And let me tell you, extends it out just enough for me because before it was a little short when I put it up to my shoulder. Oh, let me show you the weapon is unloaded. Here, let me take it off safe. Gun is unloaded. And like I said, when I would put it up to my shoulder, it just felt like didn't feel good. But now with this new pad on, and granted, it's a 9mm. It has almost no recoil, but it just feels better. So that's one of the things that I did for me. It just makes it more comfortable to shoot. Another thing I wanted to have the option of having a foregrip. This is one I had around the house, and I was trying to figure out a way to mount it. So I know Beretta sells a kit that you can mount Picatinny mount rails here, and you'll have one here or what have you. I forget how much that bad boy was, but it wasn't cheap. I think it was in the $50 range, whatever. And so I decided, you know, I went on eBay and I was looking for a Picatinny, you know, rails or whatever, and I found this here. Now that, as you can tell, wasn't an exact match with this gun, meaning I had to do some uh, some customizing to it to make it work. Um, because it was too short, it wasn't fitting snug up against the gun here. So what I did is I took a couple of spacers, cut out the middle so that they would fit on here. I put them between the gun and the rail here, and that actually worked well. But at the same time, I had a nice little space here between it that was really not attractive. So me, I just for now, I wasn't going to use glue to make it work. Okay, so instead of glue, when I need to work on a project, I've found out that gasket seal, I know that's going to sound crazy, works really great for a lot of applications. It holds really well, and at the same time, it's not permanent. So if you did need to take it off of something, I mean, it's a little work, but it's not going to be like you glued something. So anyway, that's what I did. I went around the edges with gasket seal. I know that sounds crazy, but hey, like I said, I'm making it work for me. And smoothed it out, let it sit for about a day or two, and it's really snug now. So now I can put that, it's right there. I didn't pay $50. I paid for this, the Picatinny rail here, I paid maybe about, I don't know, maybe 11 bucks for it. Gasket seal, I had that sitting around the house. I had the folding rip here sitting around the house. So really, I didn't pay much more than about 11 or 12 bucks. And like I said, it worked for what I plan on using it for. It works for me. May not be, pretty or whatever. I mean, it works. Okay. So anyway, that's the other upgrade that I did. I wanted the option of having that there. Now, if you look right here, I bought a barrel shroud. Now, I like barrel shrouds for this reason. To me, they look good. I just think they're cool looking. Okay. Besides that, I think they help to protect the barrel. Um, and it actually helps to disperse heat better, I think. Because these barrels, after let's say 200-300 rounds, can start to heat up. And if you make a mistake and you grab it by the barrel here, which I normally wouldn't do, but I've heard of people that have done that, man, you'll get a nasty burn. But this here it disperses the heat better, and if I was to grab it, I'm not going to get burned. And I got that from JS Arms Co. And they're online. You can look them up. But that came out really well. I like the way that looks. I like the way it looks better than the thin barrel that's on it. I mean, and granted, the barrel's not really that thin, but this to me gives it a better profile. It just looks better. And it's functional. Plus, if you after a while of shooting, and this is my own opinion, you know how the barrel heats up. Sometimes you can get barrel flex or whatever. To me, I think this would help to reduce a little bit of that. So that's the other upgrade that I did. Besides that, I showed this before, I think. I put a Olight Mini on here. I've got a 45-degree angle sight that I mounted to the top rail here. And it's easy to get to. If I needed to, I just reach up here, turn it on, turn it off, and I'm good to go. So I got a green laser, and I've got a nice little light there that's compact. And it still fits in the case with no problem. Besides that, I showed this here. My scope, I've got a Firefield 1x4x24 scope, which is good for close-up to medium range shooting. Which for a 9mm, I'm not looking to shoot 200-300 yards, okay? I'm in the city. This is for plinking and this is for self-defense. So I'm thinking within room distance to, let's say, to 35 to 100 feet, this gun is perfect. I mean, granted, it will reach out past that. You can look at reviews. I mean, this will go out past 100 yards easy. But for what I'm looking for, it's perfect. And this scope here worked for that. I mean, it's got, okay, the retinas on it, they illuminate, which is nice, green, red. It's just a really sweet scope. So this is my setup here. And like I said, that works for me. I can't speak for someone else, but for what I'm looking for, it works for me. And as I said, I took it to the range. This is a nice little shooter here. I mean, a lot of fun to shoot. I mean, you can go through 300-400 rounds of ammo. I mean, and just have a really good time. Now, so I wanted to show you this, but there's something else I wanted to show you. Now, anybody that knows me, I like taking a carbine. I like carbines, I like rifles. And I like matching it up to a pistol that'll shoot the same round. Now, as I said, this shoots a 9mm, okay? So I was thinking it would really be nice to get a handgun to complement this. Now, just so happens that the Beretta 92 magazines fit in this gun here, okay? And that's the magazines that this gun uses. It uses the Beretta 92 mags, okay? The 92 is a 9mm handgun service weapon. It's been in the military for a long time, and I mean, it's proven. Like, it's just a great little platform. And I got to thinking it would be nice maybe to get the pistol to go with this gun here. So I called up my local gun range and I asked them, hey, do you have a Beretta 92? I'm looking for a used one, a good used one, because I just got over $1,000 in this one, and not rich. So I'm thinking if you got a really good used one, that might be nice. And they were like, no, we just sold one. I'm like, darn it. So I said, well, what about a new one? He said, well, we do have the new Beretta 92X models out. We have 2 here. I got to thinking, okay, that might be kind of cool. So told him, well, I'm going to come up and check one out. So got up in the morning. I got my clothes on. Yeah, you don't want to leave out the house without your clothes. But anyway, so I got dressed, went to my local gun dealer, and I was very impressed with the new Beretta 92X. They had 2 there. One was laser, red dot ready. The other one wasn't red dot ready, meaning that you couldn't mount a red dot to it. But anyway, I got to asking, okay, well, what is the difference in price? The one that you could mount a red dot to was going for about $789. No, $799. Excuse me, no. Let's try that again. $699. The one that you couldn't mount a red dot to was going for about $689. So it's only a $10 difference. And I said, okay, well, what comes in the box? Now, the one that had the red dot had only 2 mags. Like, that's not bad. But the one that you couldn't mount a red dot to came with 3 mags. I got to think, I really don't run red dots on my handguns. My burner, that was a cool project I worked on. But I said, you know what? Let me get the one that's got the 3 mags. So, without further ado, let me show you this new setup. It came with a really cool holster. Well, the holster I paid a little more for. All right. I'm going to do this quick because it's cold out here. This is my brand new setup here. I've always wanted a shoulder holster. Hello, people. Yeah, I got my neighbors looking. And this is my brand new Beretta 92X. I'm going to drop the mag out, show you that it's not loaded. Take a look at that right there. That is a beautiful gun. I mean, I love the rail on it. I love the new grips. They give it a brand new angle. I think the angle is supposed to be more like a 1911 style angle as far as the grips here go. Very, very aggressive. It's got the combat sights. Although I would like the night sights. I might do that later. But took this to the range today. Put about 100 rounds through it. This thing has a beautiful trigger. Now I am still getting used to double tapping with it. Um, you know, the reset's a little longer, but I mean, really nice, very accurate, and it takes the same mags as my Beretta CX4 Storm. So now I've got two firearms that not only take the same ammo, but take the same mag. So if I could only have two 9mm firearms, this might fit the bill. Well, for right now, this does fit the bill. And I got this leather holster here, the shoulder holster, for a really good price. You know, I had these here because I went to the range. I wanted some extra mags for the CX4 Storm. But this is a really nice rig here. And got a chance to try it out. A little different from my belt holsters and what have you, but gotta say, I'm loving it. And my wife has always thought that these were cool, so she was okay with it. Now, you're probably wondering, man, this brother's got a lot of guns. He's always buying a new firearm. Well, let me tell you how I do it, okay? Sometimes, you know, I might have a little extra money to spend for this or that, but a lot of times, you know, I'm a working man. If I see something, a firearm that I really like, I'll start thinking, you know, I got a couple of guns that are sitting around, you know, I never use. They're okay, you know. And what I might do, what I did in this case to get with this one here, because as I said, I just spent $1,000, a little bit over $1,000, with everything that's the upgrades for this one here. So what I'll do is I'll look at some of my firearms that I have that just was sitting around, and I'll do process of elimination, I guess you could say. Which ones could I afford to let go to get a new firearm? So I had two firearms that were sitting up in my safe area, and I said, you know what? I could let this one go to get this one. So this way, I basically let, you know, a couple of my firearms go to get this particular one here, and I didn't have to come out of pocket 1 cent. So that's how I do this at times. I don't have, you know, 20, 30 some firearms just sitting around. No. I've owned well over a couple of hundred firearms, well over 100 firearms like in my lifetime. But you got to realize I'm up there. I'm just shy of 60. And I've bought, I've sold, I've traded, you know. So I'm saying that to say this. I've been really doing some soul searching and thinking, how many firearms do I really need? And I've actually been downsizing, thinking about what is going to suit my needs. Some are just wants, meaning I really want this one, like my Henry. I love my Henrys, okay? And they do serve a purpose. But for self-defense, how many do I really need? And I've been looking at quality over quantity, okay? My wife always says, look at quality